Hi, this is Michael Josephson for the Josephson Institute of Ethics. I want to talk a little bit about the question of how to get the very best possible result out of this student development framework we've developed and that we call Character Counts 5.0. And it's based on really analyzing the literally thousands and thousands of schools who have been and are using various character counts programs. And it's a recognition that the most effective, when we look to see how many of the implementations were really meaningful, sustainable, and measurable, which are our key criteria for success, we found that the most successful tended to be an integration where you had, first of all, what we call a cluster. That is, you start with the high school, and then you have the feeder middle schools and the feeder elementary schools. When you have that group, which is sort of a community in and of itself, a cluster, it could be 7 schools, 10 schools, 12 schools, depends on the individual district. The ability to not only infuse the key values, not only the ethical values, but the academic values and the social emotional values and life skill things, increases dramatically when there is a reliable integration at the various grades. By that I mean that a student who learns some of these basic concepts in elementary school is going to have those same concepts repeated, reinforced, and expanded in the middle school, and of course the same true as the student moves from the middle school to the high school. So I really want to stress, if you're at all considering adopting character counts or you've already adopted it and you want to enhance the impact, and by that I mean better academic results, better behavioral results, better parent engagement, all of the different criteria that we have, including school climate, which is a really critical thing that we focus on today, you really want to have what we call the cluster. Frankly, it's easiest to get the elementary schools involved. A great proportion of all the schools involved in character counts are elementary schools. It's somewhat harder to get the middle schools, and it's hardest of all to get to the high schools. And yet they are critical, not only to the notion of the cluster concept, but to ultimately success, because it's the high school students that are one step away from real life. They're about to graduate, whether they're going to move on to college or to career, it's different. Different supervision, different amount of freedom, different amount of choices that they make. And so if we can be sure that these students have the foundation for understanding the values and behaviors that are going to help make them successful and help make them productive, and that these values are continuously reinforced all the way up, you get far and away the best possible result. Also, in high school, it is very important to integrate it not only in the academic courses, which isn't as easy as it is in the lower levels, but is very possible, but in the co-curricular activities, particularly sports. And our Pursuing Victory with Honor program is absolutely ideally suited to take advantage of all of these basic teaching principles and all of the inspiration that comes from wanting to be a better and good person and a more effective person and to contribute to the climate and the well-being of the student body, and puts it in the sports context by training the coaches on how to be more effective at not only teaching young people the game and the skills of their particular sport, but how to be better people, better leaders, better members of the community. I'm going to talk more in another segment about some of the special things about high schools, but the cluster concept I want to stress. Finally, there's one other element. A really effective character counts program has to have a sequential commitment and schedule. The most effective ones start with some kind of committee at the school who's going to be in charge of keeping it viable. It's also going to involve a series of progressive scheduled activities, from an orientation at the beginning of the year where the parents and the staff and the students are introduced to the concepts of character counts and maybe celebrate the achievements of the last year, moving all the way through to have a school project that improves the school, to have an event that celebrates during Character Counts Week, and to have continuous professional development, all measured both before and after. So we have the most comprehensive school climate survey that will do that. So please think about doing what you can to add, whether you need to add schools above you or below you, but if you can create a cluster, and if that cluster will be committed to the sequential things that Character Counts advocates, you will have far and away the best possible results academically, socially, emotionally, and in terms of school climate, and of course, character. Thank you.